Hello, children. I'm Victoria Carlton. Most kids call me Vicky. I'm going to read a Bible story to you today. And the Bible story that I'm reading has been told by Ralph Milton in the Lectionary Story Bible. And all these stories, of course, come from the Holy Bible, and they're great stories. This is a story about some people who were trying to get Jesus into trouble. Now, we love Jesus very much, and we think that lots of people love Jesus, and we want everyone to love Jesus, don't we? But there were some people who didn't want people to love Jesus. They thought that he was getting a bit too important, and they wanted to be very important, and so they wanted to cause problems for him. So there are these people who were really a bit jealous of Jesus because people were starting to love Jesus. And so they were looking to see how they could get him to trouble. And this is how the story goes. The people of Israel, this is where Jesus lived, they had to give money to the Roman emperor. They had to pay him taxes, just like your mum and dad, all right? And their friends all have to pay some taxes to the government. The Roman emperor was like a very, very powerful king. He was so powerful that he had his picture on the front of all the coins. So this is a Roman coin. So he was very powerful, and he sent his soldiers to Israel. And the soldiers said, the emperor is your ruler now. You have to do whatever he tells you, and you have to give him some money. And if you don't, he will hurt you. And here's one of the Roman soldiers here. Now, if he came up to me today and said, Vicky, give me your money, you know what? I would just pick up my purse and I would give it to him. I would be so scared. But the people didn't like having to give a lot of money to the Roman emperor. So they weren't happy about this. Only God should tell us what to do, not the Roman emperor. And God doesn't want us to give money to the Roman soldiers, they said. That's a bad thing to do. But they were scared of the Roman soldiers, so they did give them some money. One day, some of the leaders in Israel, remember these guys, some of the leaders in Israel wanted to get Jesus into big trouble. How can we make him say something that will get him into big trouble, they thought. What could we do? So they had a bit of a meeting, sat down together. I know, let's ask him about giving money to the Roman emperor. That will get him into big trouble with the soldiers, said another. That's a good idea. We can trick him. If he says we should give money to the emperor, then the people of Israel will be very angry and they won't love him anymore. But if he says, no, we shouldn't give money to the emperor, we should only give money to God, then the Roman soldiers will get angry and they will put Jesus into jail. So they were going to get him into trouble one way or another. So they set out to find Jesus. And Jesus, they said, we know that you're a really good person. We know that you live God's way and that you want us all to live in God's way. So tell us, please, should we pay money to the Roman soldiers or should we give our money to God? What is the right thing to do? Should we give our money to the Roman soldiers or should we give it to God instead? What should we really do? Well, Jesus looked at the leaders of Israel because he knew they were trying to play a mean trick on him. Jesus was very, very clever. Well, he said, he smiled at them. When people pay money to the Roman emperor, how do they do that? Jesus asked. They give their coins, they give their money, they give their coins to the soldiers. Show me one of those coins, said Jesus. So one of the leaders of Israel dug down into his pocket and he found a coin, just like this one, and he gave it to Jesus. He gave it to Jesus. Look at this. There's a picture on this coin, said Jesus. Whose picture is it? Whose picture is this? Said Jesus. Well, it's the emperor. It's the emperor, said these important people from Israel, these leaders. Well, does that mean that the coin belongs to the emperor? Well, I suppose so, said one of the leaders. Then give it to the emperor if it belongs to him, Jesus said. Do you belong to the emperor? Jesus asked. No, we belong to God, said the leaders. Then give yourselves to God, said Jesus. Give God all your love and learn to live in God's way. Well, the leaders of Israel didn't know what to say then. They walked away very, very slowly. Then one of them whispered to the others, "We tried to trick Jesus, but it didn't work. Let's go away and think of some other ways that we can make trouble for Jesus." So it's a really interesting story, isn't it? So Jesus knew that they were trying to get him into trouble. So he picked up the coin and said, look, you can see the emperor there. So give him what belongs to him, but give your whole selves to God, which is what we really need to do. So thank you so much for listening to my story, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.